I might well start off the show with this. Now we still got like 1 hour left on SmackDown, but we now know that the fifth man revealed for solo Bloodline is Bronson Reed, Big Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed shockingly came out of nowhere and helped the Bloodline beat up Roman, the Usos, and Sami Zayn. So Bronson Reed will now join War Games. Wow. Sorry, I forgot to do my introduction for my live stream. This is Jacob Cass 2024. Gonna do my WWE SmackDown review. We will talk about AEW. We will talk about the news and rumors in WWE and AEW. Now, I just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. My video is sponsored by my favorite podcasters in wrestling like Solomonster, JD from New York, Just Alec, Wrestling Inc., Post Wrestling, and other favorite podcasters that I know, like Joe Cronin and the Good My Work commentaries. Now, this will be like an hour and 30 minutes. We will talk about SmackDown. There are a few things to talk about on SmackDown. There's also a big match coming on. But you gotta know that Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are gonna be. I think they were fighting tonight. There may have been a deal about it tonight. I think it came on during SmackDown or before SmackDown. I'm not sure, but we will talk about that. But we're gonna talk about SmackDown. Holy moly. That was crazy. Now I had to pause it so I can skip ahead. And as you guys can see, Roman Reigns and Uso laying there. Man, the bloodline. I cannot believe that. Bronson Reed. Damn. That was crazy. Bronson Reed joined the bloodline. He now with Solo, Fatu, and the Tongas.
Because I put Randy Orton on the show. That is absolute nonsense. It's not fair. But guess what the best part?
So Kevin Owens was he cut a very good promo. He's doing great at heel right now. Up next we have the Street Profit. Wait, hold on. We got Las Vegas tomorrow and Sunday. Oh, that's the convention center. Alright, now let's get back into the show. We got the Street Profit versus Motor City Machine Gun for the tag team titles. Now, will it be the end for the Street Profits? Now, there have been some rumors that the Street Profit might leave the company, or they might split. Now, let's see what happens here. Oh wait, hold on. Let's see what happens here. Oh, the match ended in a DQ. Hold on. Well, kind of lame. Tommaso Ciampa attacked the Street Profit and Motor City Machine Gun. Clearly, Tommaso Ciampa turning heel. Now, I'm gonna play the rest. I'm not gonna show it, but I want you guys to hear the audio. Let me know y'all can hear the audio of on SmackDown. Clearly, they're teasing the breakup with DIY. Ciampa definitely going heel. He might turn Gargano. I think we might see Tommaso Ciampa get a single push again. He actually pushed Gargano. Alright.
Apparently, say, listen, I'm sorry the fight broke up that way, but then Dawkins is ticked off. Emotions running wild here tonight. Put yourself in Dawkins' shoes, okay? It's understandable why Angelo Dawkins just blasted Alex Shelley. The Street Profits have every right to be ticked off.
Yeah, because the Prophet got screwed. Now we will talk about Nia Jax defending the Women's Championship against Naomi tonight. We will talk about this match. That might be the main event. Because the Bloodline segment did not main event. It was in the middle of the show.
There we go. Thank me. It's a grassroots.
Alright. So we got a segment with Bayley and Naomi and Bianca and Jade. Okay, so here's the tournament for the Women's United States Championship. This is the mid-card time for the woman. Here's a tournament. I think there's like 3 rounds. We know that Friday we got Bianca, Chelsea Green, and Belair in the first round next Friday. I'm pretty sure Smackdown gonna be pre-taped tonight. I think it's gonna be pre-taped after this one. Because we know Raw was pre-taped, so I'm pretty sure Smackdown had to be pre-taped. I think Chelsea might win this. I don't think Bianca's gonna win it. Maybe Chelsea is the one. We'll have to wait and see. Next Friday, got Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens in a face-to-face. Clearly, we're setting up this match for Survivor Series. Like Cody Rhodes has to defend it on pay-per-view because he didn't defend it at Crown Jewel or Bad Blood. So these two are gonna continue their feud. It looks like we might get a stipulation when it might end the feud. It's gonna be a pretty good match. I'm looking forward to it. Alright. Alright, so the main event, Nia Jax and Naomi. Now let's see who's gonna win this match. Nia retained. With the help of Candice LeRae. They were pretty armored that Nia will retain. Well, it looks like that's how SmackDown ended. That was the main event. Nia Jax retained her Women's Championship against Naomi with the help of Candice LeRae and Tiffany Stratton. Now, clearly they're setting up War Game. Now, we know that Monday Night Raw was pre-taped. We know Rhea Ripley came back. They're setting up War Games. War Games are being set. Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes are being set. Damian Priest and Gunther. That's 3 matches that being set for Survivor Series. As for the Women's United States Championship tournament, they said that the final 2 in that tournament will win that title on the Saturday Night main event on December 14th. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, hold on a second. Wait, the show's not over yet. It's showing Roman Reigns. He's on his phone.
Cool. The wise man.
That's weird. So the show ends with Roman Reigns. He was on his phone. He said call the wise man, but the number is not working. What does that mean? Wow.
Seasoned veterans going at it.
That was a very interesting cliffhanger.
Arena in Reading. That's
We got AEW
okay.
Rampage. I'm not
Orange
watching.
Cassidy will go one coming up next Wednesday night. AEW
All right,
Dynamite
hold on.
live from the St. Taylor Arena in Reading, Pennsylvania.
All right, now let's get back into my review. Let's talk about SmackDown tonight. All right, so like I said, we got Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Is that on now, or did that already went on? We know that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson had their fight. Now that's what ended the. Roman Reigns called Paul Heyman. He said, "Call the wife, man," but the number is not answering. So what could happen? Is Paul Heyman coming back, or what could happen? Are we gonna get Seth Rollins? What's gonna happen? Who's the fifth man gonna be for Roman's team? I also forgot to mention Shinsuke Nakamura makes a stunning return. He returned and attacked LA Knight. He has on a different attire. He got on red paint. Cody Rhodes demands Kevin Owens to get a beat down. Alright, we got who would be the OG Bloodline fifth man. We got Bayley. She advanced in the Women's US title tournament. LA Knight issued an open challenge against Humberto. That they had a pretty good match. But it looked like LA Knight could feud with Nakamura. We haven't seen Nakamura since April. He hadn't been used on SmackDown since being drafted. But at least he's going to be in the program. Nakamura's a great talent. He's awesome. Bronson Reed and the Bloodline ambush Roman Reigns, Sami and the Usos. I wonder what's going to happen. I think now, let me know in the comments section, what do you guys think about Bronson Reed joining the new Bloodline? Because I think it's great. I think it's awesome. I'm glad he's being used. He's in the storyline. He has a match with Seth Rollins. They're continuing. Now, we know that Monday Night Raw was pre-taped for next week. We know that Bronson Reed beat Seth Rollins with the help of Solo. So clearly, Bronson Reed, as soon as they did that, Bronson Reed, it joined the Bloodline. Bronson Reed, Jacob Fatu, Solo, and the Tongas. I think that's great. I think it's awesome. He also hit a tsunami on Roman Reigns. Can you imagine that? Seeing that match.
Solo Sikoa. I liked it a lot. I have to.
So live reaction with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. We don't see Denise here.
She's involved with someone, and by she I mean Chelsea Green's involved with someone right now. So, how do we get her to the forefront and take this title? But yeah, I like it. I'm going to sit back and enjoy this. I think it's time. I think it's time that these are the types of fights and things that we need to see from the women. I want to.
We only had two championship defenses tonight. That it? Or there any more?
Welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast here.
That it? Now this is what we saw on SmackDown here. Tommaso Ciampa caused a DQ. Tommaso Ciampa clearly turned heel, slowly turning. I think they will break up DIY. I think they're trying to go get him and gonna go separate ways. clearly they're planting the seed for that. Now we know that Survivor Series on November 30th. We got like what? 3 weeks? No, we got like 2 weeks, I think. Now this is what we got for SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen. Now that would open the show. Cody Rhodes wants a match with Kevin Owens. Randy Orton sold the injury last week. Kevin Owens used an illegal move that's not legal in the company. He hit that pile driver, dropped him on his head. Cody Rhodes demands Kevin Owens to get the beatdown that he deserves. We had a pretty good triple threat match with Bayley and who else? It was B-Fab, it was Candice LeRae, I think. And Bayley won. She will advance. LA Knight issues a United States title open challenge against Humberto. I thought he was going to wrestle Santo, but he already beat Santo before. I knew he did, so he wrestled Humberto. And after he won, a pretty good match. After he won, after Nakamura made his return, clearly they're setting up a program with these two. I wonder what the purpose. Of course, Nakamura gonna be in the mid card. He ain't going after Cody Rhodes. We already saw that on Raw. So we go to LA Knight. It's something new, something fresh, something to propel LA Knight. Knight put down Berto and you were title match. The Bloodline and Bronson Reed ambush Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, and Uso. I'm looking forward to this. I cannot wait for this. I think it's great that Bronson Reed with the new Bloodline. Bronson Reed and Jacob Fatu also have history from House of Glory. They've been doing it before. Bronson Reed and Jacob Fatu have already outshined Solo. They outshined Solo Sikoa. So I guess it's not gonna be The Rock. And it can't be The Rock. Well, Cody Rhodes is not gonna get involved because he's gonna wrestle Kevin Owens at the pay-per-view. I don't think that they want Cody Rhodes involved in the Bloodline again because we already saw it. And then we get it, they teased The Rock. Now Cody gotta do what he gotta do with Kevin Owens. Maybe we could get Seth Rollins. If Bronson Reed's in it, then Seth Rollins has to be in it. Even though Seth said he wants nothing to do with Roman Reigns, not gonna help build up Reigns again after all we went through at WrestleMania. But it just made sense. Rollins and Bronson Reed were feuding. Bronson Reed beat him on Raw on Monday that was pre-taped. And once I saw that, I kind of figured I had a feeling. Now it's not gonna be The Rock. The Rock's not gonna work in War Games and what? Risking injury at his age? Maybe we could see The Rock show up, but I doubt it. Maybe it will be Seth Rollins. We won't know. Unless it's a show pre-taped. Now, is SmackDown gonna be pre-taped for next week? Are they gonna do SmackDown tonight? Is that gonna be pre-taped? We actually won't know. So you gotta wait and see what happens. Because Roman Reigns teased, call the wise man. What is Paul Heyman gonna do? What's he gonna do? Who are they gonna bring in? Paul Heyman's not gonna be in War Games. So what was the point of that? He said, call the wise man. People, the crowd reacted. They went crazy. Hey, Paul Heyman coming back? What is he gonna do? Who's he gonna bring? Who is Paul Heyman gonna bring? Because I don't know. Something's gonna happen. I think they're waiting for something. Now we got Tommaso Ciampa caused a DQ and Motor City Machine Gun title match with the Street Profit. Clearly that they're setting up a heel turn with Tommaso Ciampa. I think he will break away from Gargano. The Street Profit, they might break up. We don't know if they're gonna split or not, or if they're gonna leave the company. We won't know. None of the matters though, right? Fuck Phoenix and in a DQ.
Look, nobody has more beef on the front line than us. We just need to wrap up. I want to hear that.
We got JD from New York. I wonder, is that live? Was this already live? It says at 5:30. Hold on a second. They said that Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Was that live?
Just the outcome.
So that on like right now?
Should he be the one to knock Carrington from the ranks of the...
Now this is UFC. They said that it's live on Netflix. I take it that match is over, right? Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. I might as well skip ahead. I actually want to see this. I haven't been interested in UFC. And it's been a while since I watched UFC. I used to love watching UFC back in the day, but I haven't.
Right hand, body is a very...
I think Jake Paul and Mike Tyson might be the main event. So I'm just gonna skip ahead and see how great this match. A lot of people say the match was good. Alright, hold on. Let me just skip ahead. Is it live right now or is it already over? Now this is a woman match.
We turn now to a battle of the ages, the legend versus the relative newcomer, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. We are just hours away from Mike Tyson squaring off against Jake Paul, but the fight has already begun. The 58-year-old Tyson slapping the 27-year-old YouTuber turned boxer at last night's weigh-in. Paul shaking off Tyson's slap, but showing off the precautions he's taken to not end up like Evander Holyfield, who had part of his ear bitten off by Tyson back in 1996.
I'm not getting my bit off on Friday night, so I got my diamond spiked ear.
Himself taking multiple million-dollar bets from fellow fighters, even staking showing he can still pack on the muscle.
I am not going to lose. Did you hear what I said?
The main fight card kicks off at 8 p.m. Eastern.
8 p.m. So I guess I guess for this show it's already over. Alright, so
In reach, length, that's really all of it. I mean, that's the big stuff, man. The stamina, everything else. I mean, the women still not fighting yet. Man, they are dragging this.
alright, so while I wait for that, might as well talk about the news and rumors. That was 8 now. Now here are the news and rumors for AEW. The War Game Clusterfuck had triple bought the Amazing Women's War Game. Moxley says complete restart for AEW. Tony Khan gave John Moxley full control.
Whether you want to believe it or not, AEW is in some serious creative trouble. And please don't run away from the problems, and please don't cite that they signed a $555 million TV deal for Warner Brothers Discovery on TNT TBS. That is not going to save them in the end. If everything continues to hit a downward spiral, then there will continue to be major problems in and around AEW. But what if I told you that AEW is undergoing a complete restart and that they're in the midst of a hard reset? Have you seen it? Have you felt it? Well, if you're John Moxley, who was just interviewed by the New York Post, John Moxley says that a hard reset and a complete restart of AEW has begun. I'm very confused. I don't really understand where this reset began. Let's dive into what John Moxley had to say here. During an interview with the New York Post, John Moxley discussed his current storyline in AEW and his hopes for the company's future. Moxley says he considers August 28th, 2024, the day he returned from his hip injury, as day zero for AEW. And that AEW has been getting a hard reset and a complete restart ever since. He appears to mean both in storyline and in the backstage environment. John Moxley says, and I quote, "I have a dream, a vision, something I can see. I see a world where everyone is successful, where everyone can be successful, where the talents are fostered and their growth is fostered, and talents are set up for success and set up for growth to be whatever it is they can be, where their strengths are brought to the forefront and utilized, and we mine their value out of them and give them the opportunity to be whatever it is they can be." Moxley discussed an incident from earlier this year when a backstage person said something that led him to believe AEW is not doing enough to develop its talent. This individual said, "Well, it's the bottom of the card. It doesn't matter. It's the bottom of the..." Let me get this straight. You mean to tell me that everybody coming on in to AEW that is not an ex-WWE guy, how do you expect them to work their way up the ladder when it all starts at the top creatively with Tony Khan? The more Tony Khan brings in someone like John Moxley, who has a laundry list of a resume from WWE, the more you bring in someone like that, and
Alright, now let me show you the other one. I'm not gonna show all of it.
believe it or not, AEW is
Now in theaters. Home sweet home. Welcome back, Chief.
If you look up and down the AEW roster, I think there's one name in particular that everybody is waiting for to make a return. Everybody's excited for his return, and that is Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega's been out with diverticulitis, and he is now set to make his return to pro wrestling this year, going on into the early portion of 2025. But it won't be for All Elite Wrestling. It won't be for AEW, but instead for New Japan Pro Wrestling at Wrestle Dynasty. Why? I got the latest on that, and you're not going to believe the reason, the explanation that Kenny Omega gave to everybody as to why he chose New Japan over AEW. Also, AEW is set to sign Speedball, Mike Bailey. Why? They have enough talent that they don't know how to book currently. We will go over that. WWE tried to get into the Hammerstein Ballroom, but AEW blocked them from booking the venue, and AEW cancels Collision on December 7th in Columbus, Ohio.
I found the
for
fifth
one
man,
very
and
particular reason that
oh,
the
it's-
mainstream media, the
it's-
IWC, the dirt
he doesn't
sheets
like it.
don't want to tell you. I got all the latest right here on today's Off the Script, and we will start with Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega was interviewed by Sean Ross Sapp on Fightful.com, and he gave a reason as to why he did not choose AEW to make his return, but instead New Japan Pro Wrestling. Here's the clip from the interview with Sean Ross Sapp, and then we'll come back and give our
Did you
opinion
see that?
on his ridiculous explanation.
And I'm sure naturally the next question is, well, why not AEW first? That is the company that I helped create. That is the company that I'm contracted to. It makes sense.
Feathers, because I know everybody in the community is very, very sensitive. I have one very important question to ask. if you have the likes of a talent, such as Kenny Omega, on your platform, and you ask, well, why not AEW, but instead New Japan Pro Wrestling? Was with it on the YouTube.
I think I made it long enough. Now we can talk about Smackdown. I'm surprised that now these are news and rumors from Salamander. Why did Dynamite Matt made me sad?
And then we had Adam Cole against Malachi Black. I watched this match, and I could not help but feel sad. I had forgotten about their match at TakeOver in Philadelphia. I asked the question a couple weeks ago, have these guys had a match before? I just couldn't remember. I thought it had to happen in NXT, but I couldn't remember where or when it happened. It was in Philadelphia at TakeOver back in 2018. And I think part of the reason why I didn't remember it is because when I think of that TakeOver Philadelphia show, I instantly always think of Johnny Gargano against Andrade, which is one of the greatest NXT matches of all time. And it overshadowed everything else on that show for me. But I went back and I watched that match. WWE had posted it some time ago, the full match on their YouTube channel. And I'm watching these guys and watching them pre-injury. They have both had serious injuries since then. Watching Malachi Black when he was still super old, and he had big star written all against Malachi Black.
Just Alex.
Another member will be joining them, and I'm not talking about Bronson Reed. This is actually, I'm not making this up, it says they confirmed, Lance Arnold, someone I believe is very familiar to think about too, has signed with WWE. That is another Samoan. And he is expected to get involved with the Bloodline. They keep coming. They just keep coming. So Roman's gonna need some help. But at the end of the show there, after getting his ass kicked, he picks up the phone and says, call the wise man. He tried to call Paul Heyman, but the connection. The call was immediately disconnected because the phone is no longer in service. It's no longer in service. Damn. That was a heartbreaker. Crazy stinger to end this guy.
Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Friday nights, wherever you may be. We got a loaded show tonight, guys. And it's going to be a little bit of a different show. Maybe. We don't really know yet. Maybe. But right now, I got Netflix on. I see you guys here, and I see Netflix over here. I may actually move you guys over here to see with Netflix. But I got Netflix on right now. I'm watching the ladies come out. And if we are still live, when Tyson and Paul hit the ring, we will shift gears and do a live reaction tonight. Or I may just stay live throughout the entire thing and do a live reaction at the end of the stream for Tyson Paul. I'm not really sure yet, but we got one thing to take care of first. Let's get things in order. Smackdown tonight, and that was a tremendous show. At least the second hour was anyway. The first hour of Smackdown was the typical Friday night Smackdown that you would assume. Second hour, I really felt like they pushed the boundaries, and it almost felt like a different show altogether. It felt like a WWE that knew something substantial needed to happen, and they flipped the switch, and that crowd reacted in the best possible way to everything that went on in that second hour. It really brought to life everything that WWE wanted to put out there on the way to Survivor Series. There's a lot to dive into tonight. We got Cody and Kevin Owens. We got Randy Orton still out. We got the Bloodline stuff. We got the Street Profits and the Motor City Machine Guns and what happened at the end of that match. We got Nia and Naomi, which, gotta give the ladies credit, was a very good televised women's championship match that obviously, once again, is pushing WWE towards the War Games situation with the ladies. I want to start with Bronson Reed. The Bloodline is still looking for a fifth man. That was the whole premise of them being on the show tonight. They were looking for a fifth man. Roman wasn't in the building up until the middle of the show. It was Sammy, it was Jay, it was Jim. They all know they need a fifth man. Right now, neither team, as of the beginning of this show, had a fifth man. Sami Zayn spoke to Seth Rollins. Sami Zayn spoke to other people on Monday night. He spoke to LA Knight tonight. Jimmy, he spoke with Braun Breaker on Monday. We don't know if or when or if that was going to be a thing over there. We don't know if a discussion was had. They certainly teased one on Monday. We don't know if it's going to go into greater detail on Monday, this coming Monday. But then we get the situation of Sami Zayn asking Seth, saying no. Solo Sikoa, he asked Seth Rollins, and he said no. So that was the big takeaway from Monday. But we didn't really know where they were going, and a lot of people in the community, they were very boisterous about what they wanted to see and what they didn't want to see, me included, at the Survivor Series War Games. A lot of people were like, I don't want to see Bronson Reed or Seth Rollins shoehorned into this War Games situation. If that's the case, you might as well just leave them separate and just do the War Games as a 4-on-4 match. Bloodline versus Bloodline, family versus family. A lot of people were like, well, I don't really mind Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins getting into the War Games match. It would make sense as far as their feud is concerned. Rollins and Reigns have history, and I think that would be a great idea, said some people. There were also people on the other side of the fence that wanted Cody and Kevin Owens. That was my idea. Cody Rhodes teaming with Roman Reigns once again after we saw him team at Bad Blood with Roman Reigns. And Kevin Owens joining the Bloodline 2.0 just to get at Cody Rhodes. That obviously did.
Wealthfront offers a cash account that has one of the highest interest rates on the market.
Reigns. But then, after that situation, they felt like they had another idea. So they sat with Roman Reigns, discussing the fifth man situation, and all of a sudden out comes Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline. They're making their way to the ring. They're about to cut a promo. Solo saying, acknowledge me in front of the crowd tonight. Everybody did not acknowledge him. As soon as they hit the ring, the OG Bloodline hits the ring, and we got an 8-man brawl, 4-on-4. There's bodies everywhere. Fatu is throwing out super kicks to everybody. Roman's going after Solo. The Tongans are going after the Usos. Sammy's going after Jacob Fatu. And then all of a sudden it gets to Jacob and Roman. And fans, obviously, you start to hear the buzz in the crowd. You start to hear the holy shit chants. You start to hear the OTC chants. Jacob Fatu is in the ring praying with Roman Reigns. He's standing there like praying to Solo. He loves Solo, right? He acknowledges Solo as his tribal chief. So they get into it, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a tsunami hits, figuratively. Tsunami hits Roman Reigns from behind, and Bronson Reed shows up on Friday Night Smackdown, and he lays waste to Roman Reigns. Roman's fighting back as valiantly as he can. He delivers a Superman punch to Bronson Reed, but obviously when you're staring down Bronson Reed and Jacob Fatu, which has to be the most menacing duo in all of WWE, maybe in all of wrestling, if you want to pair them together, it was too much for Roman. You got the mighty moonsault by Jacob Fatu. He hits his moonsault, and then Bronson Reed delivers a tsunami to Roman Reigns, and he lays waste to Roman Reigns. And at the end of the segment, they all stand tall together. Bronson Reed and the Bloodline 2.0, and Jey Uso is telling Roman as he's finally coming to, you got to make the call. You got to make the to who? We all assumed, seeing that we saw Bronson Reed, that the phone call that Jey wanted Roman to make was to Seth Rollins. Now, there's no reason for Roman to call Seth Rollins. Rollins has no business in this as of right now. We'll see if he wants business on Monday. But why would he want to get involved? He doesn't give a shit about Roman Reigns. He made it clear on Monday. So what's going to happen on Monday that possibly gets Seth Rollins involved with this nonsense? But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We have tonight, and we got one half of that situation. Bronson Reed joins the Bloodline, and now he is a part of the War Games situation. Bloodline 2.0 has their fifth man in Bronson Reed. You could not ask for a better fifth man if you are the Bloodline. Am I excited to see them shoehorned into this feud, into this match? No. No, I'm not. I would have just kept it a 4-on-4 situation. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you I don't like it completely. Would I have done it? No. I would have not. No matter how you look at it, you could sit there and tell me, well, JD, Cody Rhodes, and Kevin Owens didn't make sense to be the fifth man on either team. Sure, you could mention that. Cody's team with Roman before. Cody's been a valiant babyface who defends the rights and the good in people, right? For the good of the WWE. Kevin Owens, it would be a little outlandish for him to team with the Bloodline when the Bloodline have been nothing more than a headache to Kevin Owens. But with Cody on the other team potentially, Kevin Owens joining the Bloodline 2.0 just to get back at Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens would have made at least a little bit of sense. Now we're looking at Bronson Reed, who had nothing to do with the Bloodline. He's part Samoan, sure. But now we got Bronson Reed involved. As of right now, we don't know why. We don't know why. We didn't get an explanation of why he attacked the Bloodline tonight. Solo just asked him to do him a favor. He went to find a fifth man, and that was his number one guy right there. But now we're looking at a situation with Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins as the fifth man on both sides. But Bronson Reed, though not my first choice to shoehorn him in this thing, as with Seth Rollins. You watch tonight's show, man. I said it immediately on social media. Bronson Reed looked fucking tremendous in the Bloodline. He looked like
Who? We didn't know. Make the call to who? Roman Reigns, he tried to dial somebody. He tried to dial his wise man, and he could not get him on the phone because the number was no longer in service. What was he going to call Paul Heyman for? What was he hoping to talk to Paul Heyman about? Why is Paul Heyman's number disconnected? Perhaps he's still trying to evade all of the creditors from the ECW days. This son of a bitch has been disconnecting his number for the last 25 years. We don't know. But that's the point of a cliffhanger. They want you to guess it, and they want you to tune in for the show next. I thought that was smart. In fact, I thought the entire show was actually really good. This is the most fun I've had watching Smackdown.
carelessness, just ego-driven. He just had this prick-like attitude to him. He was dominant, right? He was out there fucking throwing jabs at CM Punk for injuring CM Punk, for ruining the parade of a CM Punk.
And that was one of two championship matches that we had tonight. The other being for the tag team titles, the Street Profits and the Motor City Machine Guns. The Street Profits have been in this just limbo now for so long. They had to win, and they didn't. But they did the finish in a way. OG crew, and we had Solo Sikoa in his house for SmackDown tonight. And Solo Sikoa has found himself seemingly a fifth man for War Games. And that man is a superstar from Monday Night Raw. There's been a lot of crossover here between Raw and SmackDown over the past few weeks. It continued tonight. Bronson Reed is going to be part of Solo Sikoa's team at Survivor Series, which means that Roman Reigns is down a man. And for all the people that Sami Zayn and we saw Jimmy Uso talking to Braun Breaker on Monday night, we saw Jey Uso talking to Rey Mysterio in the background during the segment at one point. Sami Zayn tried to Seth Rollins into taking the spot. He didn't want to have anything to do with it. They need a fifth man. Bronson Reed laid a beatdown on these men, including Roman Reigns, that made him look like an absolute monster. That was the best part of the entire thing. I am very happy for Bronson Reed to be in the spot that he is in, even if it's only for the next few weeks, right? I don't think he's going to come out of this as a new full-time permanent member of Solo's Bloodline. But for tonight, he fit there. He fit like a glove. He looked like a world beater. And it's a great spot for him to be in going into the Survivor Series. But the question still looms now. What will Roman Reigns do? Now, logic would dictate that if Bronson Reed is going to be on one side of the ring, that Seth Rollins would be on the other side, especially because Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed, they have a match coming up on Raw this Monday night, which has already been taped. Logic would dictate that that spot is going to go to Seth Rollins. Will it be Seth Rollins? Probably. Do we know that for sure? 100%? We don't. We'll have to see how that's going to play out in the couple of weeks that we have left.
And I'm very happy for him. I'm a big fan of what he does. He is so good. He was good. And the way he's just materialized over the last 4 months, that's how stars are made. That's how stars are made. I'm hoping we get an explanation as to why he did what he did tonight. Hopefully that explanation comes on Monday, because I know something's going to happen on Monday to give us a little bit more insight as to why Solo Sikoa chose Bronson Reed as Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed go one-on-one. They taped Monday Night Raw this past Monday. It is a tape show this Monday. So whatever we saw, in theory, is ahead of what we see on Monday because it was taped on Monday this past week. So we'll see what happens. Seth Rollins joining OG Bloodline. I am less enthused about that. The only reason why I'm less enthused about that is because, just like Cody, I made a mention when Cody teamed with Roman. Why would Cody want to team with Roman at Bad Blood? Cody has already acknowledged several times, that Roman is the real tribal chief. He knows Roman is the tribal chief, and he knew while feuding with Solo that Solo was nothing more than a cosplay pretender to the tribal chief throne. So Cody wanted to stand up for what is right. And he wanted to show his allegiance, his partnership with Roman Reigns. Even though Roman still eyes the WWE title, Roman is still a cocky son of a bitch. Even though he wants to come and reclaim the spot that Cody has right now at the top of SmackDown. He wants it all. It's the whole reason why he's battling his family in War Games. He wants it all back. It didn't make sense for Cody to team with Roman. Everybody questioned that. Why is Cody doing it? It's stupid. He don't have to do that anymore. He's got his own problems to worry about. It's Roman's problem now. Everything that Roman is fighting for, Roman caused. I said it then, and I'm going to say it with Rollins now. After everything that Rollins did with Cody, after everything Rollins did at WrestleMania to break his body, to save the Bloodline and save WWE from a Roman Reigns 4-year title run, are we really looking at Seth Rollins teaming with Roman Reigns? I mean, does that fit the narrative? Does that make sense? He did everything in his power to stop Roman Reigns. He did everything in his power to end the reign of terror of Roman Reigns, to beat The Rock and end the Bloodline. Mission accomplished. Cody won the championship, celebrated. The Bloodline was over. The power that Roman had over WWE, there were clouds, and they dissipated at the end of WrestleMania. Blue skies and sun were finally shining through WWE. That was because of Seth Rollins. He told
What's your games have to do with this league?
now for him to team with Roman Reigns. Again, I get that Rollins and Bronson Reed are feuding. But with Bronson Reed feuding with Seth Rollins, is that enough? Is WWE going to be able to tell enough story for Rollins to say, you know what, I'm in? You're in for You're in because you want Bronson Reed? You're not in to battle alongside Roman Reigns because you give a shit about Solo Sikoa. You're not battling alongside Roman Reigns to end this family war. What the fuck does it have to do with you? Why do you care? That is a big logic gap, in my honest opinion. We have to wait and see what Monday night brings us on Raw. Maybe there's an explanation as to why he does team with Roman. But if Bronson Reed is in, all signs are pointing to Seth Rollins being in. Whether you like it or not, that's your War Games match. But Bronson Reed, outside of what you feel about them being shoehorned into this match, outside that, Bronson Reed looked fucking tremendous tonight. And I thought that was unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff. But Rollins joining the OG Bloodline, that is going to take some solid story in the next 2 weeks to make me believe that Rollins wants to willingly team with Roman Reigns and fight alongside him to end Solo Sikoa's Bloodline 2.0. It's got to be more than, well, Bronson Reed's in this match. I want Bronson Reed, so I'm teaming with Roman Reigns. Is that enough to put all of your hatred aside for Roman Reigns, knowing who he is, to team with Roman Reigns just to get to Bronson Reed? I find that a little bit hard to believe. Now, I don't know what The Rock is going to do or possibly say here. And I want to bring something to your guys' attention. Roman Reigns is on a path of defying the High Chief. I don't know where WWE is going into WrestleMania. I don't. Roman Reigns is a babyface. And Roman Reigns, the problems that he started, the problems that he's facing right now, he is the one that caused all these problems. He's battling alongside family. It's number one. That's one problem right there. Then we come to Bad Blood, and he teams with the guy that The Rock had the biggest problem with going into WrestleMania. He teamed with Cody Rhodes. That's number two. And if Seth Rollins decides to join the Bloodline, and he teams with Roman Reigns, or I should say, if Roman teams with Rollins and asks Seth, please join me, that would be Roman teaming with Seth Rollins, the guy who was Cody's Shield, the guy who was Cody's tag team partner on night one while Roman and Rock wrestled in the main event of WrestleMania night one in Philadelphia. It's 3 strikes and you're out. The Rock held up 3 at the end of Bad Blood. What was that? Did it mean anything as far as who was in the ring? It was Jimmy, it was Roman, it was Cody. Did that have anything to do with the amount of people in the ring? We don't know. But what I look at now is these 3 strikes. If we get all of this lining up and Rollins is going to team with Roman and Roman asks, it's 3 strikes and you're out. Was that a foreshadowing from Rock? You got 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes. That 3rd strike, it happens, you're finished. And he gave the throat slash. Was that basically a warning sign to Roman that if he fucks up 3 times, then it's over? I don't know. But I did say from the early beginning, all the way back in March, I do think that The Rock has some part in this new Bloodline forming. I think The Rock is the puppeteer, and I think he's pulling the strings. I think he's the puppet master in this entire thing. We may be looking at a Rock and Roman WrestleMania 41 match in Las Vegas, and we might not have to wait till WrestleMania 42. It looks like that's where they're going. But what I thought happened tonight with Bronson Reed. What he did, his inclusion, the way he came off on television, he looked fucking tremendous tonight. Tremendous. And I'm very excited for him to see where this elevates him, because if he's going to shine like we all know he is, he's going to kill it. Roman Reigns at the end of the show picked up the phone after Jey Uso told him to call, make the call. Cliffhanger of the night. Everybody thought he was going to call Seth Rollins. Nope. He did not call Seth Rollins. Why would he call Seth Rollins? Nothing happened to Seth Rollins yet. We have to get to Monday and see what happens on Monday. He called Paul Heyman. And when he called Paul Heyman on his iPhone, the number was not in service anymore. Paul Heyman has changed his phone number, and he has not been heard of or seen since he got put through a table by Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu at Madison Square Garden earlier this year. He's been out all these months. Brings everybody back together, and we get Paul Heyman back as the wise man. Paul Heyman's got to be watching. Paul Heyman's got to know what's going on. I'm sure he's got social media. He doesn't need a cell phone to see what's going on. He knows what's going on. But he's changed his number. Why has he changed his number? You mean to tell me that Paul Heyman has not said anything to Roman Reigns? At all. It's unbelievable to even think that. But there's been no communication there, and that's what they went off the air with. Paul Heyman changed his number. His number was no longer in service, and Roman sat there in his locker room looking dejected. He looked as I do when I watch AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, just dejected and sad and depressed. What am I going to do now? That was the cliffhanger for the night. He didn't change his number. Solo smashed it. Might have been. You mean to tell me Paul Heyman can't get another cell phone? Solo destroyed his phone ages ago on Smackdown. I would tend to believe you guys, but to think that Paul Heyman has been without a cell phone for 4 months now, 5 months, I mean, I find that a little bit difficult to believe. Come on. I thought the cliffhanger was great. Street Profits, they wrestled the Motor City Machine Guns tonight. I was expecting a banger match. We were on our way to get a banger match. But man, oh man, did they put a stop to that pretty quickly with Tommaso Ciampa coming in and ruining it all. Profit showed some heel tendencies. We got Tommaso Ciampa probably returning to his roots of black and gold. He shoved Johnny Gargano down. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Also, we got a situation with the Women's Championship. And the tournament started tonight for the U.S. Women's Championship. We got a bunch of triple threat matches. And we got a finals that are going to be taking place at Saturday night's main event. So I'm excited about that. The brackets are pretty decent. I would say they look a little predictable if you ask me. But I'm excited to see who they crown the first United States Women's Champion. And Cody Rhodes cut a very impassioned promo to open Smackdown, which we will start off with. And it was the best that Cody Rhodes has sounded since WrestleMania season. So we'll get into all that tonight. On off the script, this is your Smackdown post right here on OTS. Tonight sponsored by DraftKings. Sponsored by DraftKings tonight. Make sure you guys download the app. And use promo code.
Why are you yelling at me?
There's been a lot of talk about that show as well. The possibility that maybe they'll hold off and do Owens and Cody on that show. That would make sense. But you got to do something at Survivor Series because right now
mean, Survivor Series is one of your biggest events of the year, and I know it's all about war games and the Bloodline Civil War, and everything else is sort of underneath. But you're going to have Gunther defending the World Heavyweight Championship on that show against Damian Priest. How do you not have Cody Rhodes, your WWE champion, literally one of your top 2 stars in the company? It's Roman, it's Cody, and then you CM Punk. In terms of star power, Roman, Cody, and Punk. Those are your 3 guys right now. How are you not going to have Cody Rhodes on the Survivor Series card? You have to have him on there. But it doesn't have to be a title match. And I think that then leads into Saturday night's. So that's how I see things playing out. We'll see. But I thought this was a strong segment to open the show. Now, in the back, Jimmy Uso walked up to Jey Uso and Sami Zayn. Jimmy said that Roman Reigns will be here shortly, and he wants all of them in the same room together so that they can go over the play for War Games.
What?
Jey points out we still need a 5th man. And Sami says, you know what? There may be someone else I can ask. He didn't sound too sure of himself, but he said, it's worth a shot. And off he went. So that led into the opening contest, which was our first triple threat match as part of the Women's United States Championship Tournament. First round match, Bayley against B-Fab against Candice LeRae. This is the same B-Fab who has not, before tonight, wrestled a match on TV since February. And here she was in the U.S. title tournament. Now, supposedly, she has been training with Natty and I presume TJ Wilson. I guess at their school, she's been training in her off time with them, trying to improve her craft.
Now we don't. Now we do have FIFO on here. Denise Salcedo not on here with Robin. That's too bad. That was the beatdown. That's the new game Yakuza that Chris Wu is playing. But here's the beatdown, the Bloodline, and Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed being the Bloodline is great. It might be just a one-off just for War Games. I don't think The Rock can be in War Games. He's not going to wrestle this 40-minute match. Well, he could, but he's not going to risk getting hurt. Liv Morgan and Raquel lay out the Women's Tag Team Champions. I didn't know that. They were on Smackdown? Because I didn't know that. Now they have the main event, Naomi and Nia Jax. Paul Heyman phone disconnected. Have to wait and see what happens.
For the moon.
Enough of the commercial, man.
How good is the Explorer?
Most of the spotlight here, more so her than Bayley or Candice LeRae, because B-Fab is the one that we haven't had the chance to see much of in the ring.
Wins at SmackDown. Cody said Aldis was giving Owens what he wanted, and instead Aldis should let Cody handle Kevin Owens. Cody kept going on, and Aldis stopped Cody from talking. Aldis asked Cody if he thought it was about money, because he knew it wasn't about money. Aldis said if he gives the roster an inch, then they take a mile. Aldis said Owens cannot be at the shows until the situation is resolved internally. Cody questioned internally. Cody then asked Aldis to be real. Be real with me. And says he knows Aldis is a wrestler and a good man. You're a pro wrestler right now. You're still a pro wrestler. Cody asked if Aldis, if he was the one in the ambulance with Orton, how Aldis would react.
Bayley hit a belly to Bayley on B-Fab. Candice, though, almost stole a win.
Your safe and wonderful wrestling weekend, but we have Bayley walking up Naomi as she's preparing for her match, and Jade Cargill and Bianca are in the back, saying that they have Naomi's back. Certainly
AJ Otani says, "Who's your favorite lackey wrestling faction?"
A huge name returned to WWE.
Pretty good.
Hopefully nothing happens while I'm watching. I'm hearing that there's some streaming issues. I hope. Dragged his mother into the entire thing. Rock did. Cody showed some good fire there. Felt a little forced. Felt a little manufactured then. I felt this was a lot better. I thought he showed a lot more fire here. And Randy Orton called him the Code Man.
See this playing out. I'm going to throw this out there. You let me know what you think.
Oh yeah, here's the tournament for the Women United Championship. The mid-card title for the women that they created. The finals on Saturday Night Main Event. Now, we only got I think we only got one triple threat match tonight. We will get the other one, we will get this one with Bianca and Chelsea and Belair next week. Maybe we'll get the other ones on Raw, maybe? We'll have to wait and see who's gonna win it. Cause we know that Bayley advanced. Maybe Chelsea might advance. Will Jade advance? I think Jade gonna advance. Naomi might advance. We could get Jade. Maybe Naomi or Jade. Maybe Chelsea or Bayley. We'll have to wait and see.
I think that Chelsea Green is going to get the win next week.
Yeah.
It's tempting to say Bianca because I just love the fact that Bianca still has no love for Bayley. There's still, anytime they end up on screen together, there's still a lot of tension there. But I think that's a little too predictable. I think that Chelsea is going to move on to the next round. We're going to get Bayley and Chelsea. On the other side, you see Jade Cargill against Michin against Piper Niven. And Naomi against Tiffany Stratton against Elektra Lopez. What I'm envisioning here is Piper Niven wins her match and Naomi wins her match. And we get Piper and Naomi in the semifinals. So I think Chelsea and Piper, right, the two partners are both going to move on. And I think they're both going to get bounced in the next round. And the finals on Saturday night's main event next month is going to be Bayley against Naomi. And Naomi is going to win the entire thing and become the new United States champion. And not only is Naomi going to win the United States championship, we might even get a Naomi heel turn. There has been some noticeable kind of weird tension with her and Bayley on screen. It's nothing overt, but just for months now, going back many months, there have been times where they've been on screen together. And I don't know if it's just an awkward segment or and there have been some awkward ones here and there. There's just a weird tension between them. So, yeah, you could do that. You could absolutely make the argument for that. But I would also say Naomi is a name. You know, Naomi may not be at the level of a Bayley.
I decided to.
Oh, enough of these damn commercials, man.
Come on in.
His underlying villain in this entire story. It's the truth. The truth. I thought this was very good. Cody showed a lot of great fire here. And being that we got Bronson Reed and more than likely Seth Rollins in the War Games situation and not Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, one has to assume that over the next 2 weeks, they invited Kevin Owens to SmackDown, or at least Cody invited Kevin Owens to SmackDown next week. One would have to assume that this match is not going to be a sanctioned match. It's not. It's not going to be a sanctioned match. Nobody's going to give Kevin Owens a championship match. Nobody's going to reward Kevin Owens for beating up Randy Orton and putting him on a fucking stretcher and him loaded into an ambulance on his way to the hospital. Nobody should reward Kevin Owens with a fucking championship match. Not management, not all this, not Triple H. And Cody Rhodes should not give Kevin Owens a championship match. He doesn't deserve it. So with them not being on the War Games teams, it now opens it up for Survivor Series, where Kevin Owens will go one-on-one with Cody Rhodes. And this will be a second match for the two. They wrestled in Saudi Arabia, I believe, the last time they were in Saudi. They will wrestle a second time. And they will... Now, when did they wrestle? Did they wrestle Saudi? Or was it internationally somewhere, UK or Scotland? I don't really know. Someone fill me in there.
It was Germany.
But I know they did wrestle on pay-per-view in a main event. Was
Yeah.
it France? One of the... I don't know. I do know they wrestled. This will be a second match. I would not make this a WWE Championship match. I would not. I would take this from Survivor Series and do a blow-off third match at Saturday Night's Berlin. Bash in Berlin. There you go, Germany. That was a great match. Very good match. So this will be the second match in a line of 3 matches. This should not be for the WWE title. Not sanctioned, lights out, whatever you want to call it. No WWE title on the line. But if we're going to book the match and the title's not on the line, Kevin Owens should absolutely beat Cody Rhodes. Cody beat Gunther. Cody beat Gunther at Crown Jewel. Someone who has been absolutely untouchable. Cody should return the favor for the greater good for the story and have Kevin Owens beat him in a non-title match at Survivor Series. Lights out, unsanctioned, no rules. Kevin Owens wins and beats Cody Rhodes at Survivor Series, ultimately landing a third match for the WWE title at Saturday night's main event. And that is your main event on NBC. That's what I'm going. But I do think now, with Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins factored into the War Games situation, we now have the other main event for Survivor Series, which will be Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. On top of that, we got Gunther and Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm assuming there will be a Survivor Series match with the Final Testament and the Wyatt Six. What else WWE is going to add to that, I don't know. But that's what I would do. I like it. We'll see what happens. Backstage, Jimmy Uso was walking and ran into Jey Uso and Sami Zayn. Jimmy said Roman Reigns was on the way to the arena and he wants everyone to meet in the same room together to talk. Zayn said there was someone he could ask when it came to being a 5th member at War Games. Zayn told the Usos, I'm going to go do what I got to do. I'm going to talk to this guy, and I'll catch you later. Who was it? It was LA Knight. And no, LA Knight is not joining War Games. United States Championship match or tournament to determine who gets a shot at the United States Championship. And this match consisted of Candice LeRae, Bayley, and B-Fab. Yes, B-Fab was in this thing, and I'm going to read the brackets to you right now, as WWE posted it on their social media. We got B-Fab, Candice LeRae, and Bayley tonight. Then we got Bianca Belair, Chelsea Green, and Blair Davenport. So we got triple threat matches. We got 4 triple threat matches, and the winners of every triple threat match in this tournament will go to the semifinals in a one-on-one match against the winner of the other triple threat match in their tournament bracket. So Bayley, Candice LeRae, B-Fab, Bianca Belair, Chelsea Green, and Blair Davenport. That's on one side. That's on the left side of the bracket. So Bayley won tonight. I'm assuming Bianca Belair is going to win her side, and we're going to get Bayley versus Bianca Belair, who seemingly have an issue going back to their damage control days. On the other side, we got Jade Cargill, Michin, who a lot of people are pushing for to actually win the United States Championship, and Piper Niven. It is safe to say that Jade Cargill could get the victory there, but Michin is the dark horse. But I'm going with Jade Cargill. Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Elektra Lopez. Naomi had a women's championship match tonight, and she wrestled Nia Jax for that championship, but also is in the United States Championship tournament. So it's interesting to see that she's got two opportunities here. Opportunity tonight to win the women's championship. She obviously didn't do that, and now she's got an opportunity at the United States Championship. So the way that things are shaping up here, Bayley, Bianca, Jade, and Naomi.
Over 50 people lost their jobs.
That's what I'm going with. Tiffany Stratton's not winning.
We got rematch today.
She's got money in the bank, and she's going to cash in and become the women's champion eventually. She doesn't need the United States Championship.
Did you know what he did?
Elektra Lopez is certainly in that match to take the pinfall. Whatever it is, it's probably going to be Naomi beating both Stratton and Elektra Lopez. This could go either one of two ways. One, we get Jade and Bianca as tag team champions wrestling each other on Saturday night's main event, which is probably the heavy favorite to be the finals of this tournament. Or something that I would like to see instead of that, Bayley versus Naomi, with Naomi winning the United States Championship. I don't see why Jade and Bianca need to wrestle for the United States Championship when they've been tasked with being the tag team champions. I don't know why that would make sense right now, unless you're going to give them, or one of them, I should say, the United States Championship, and then have the split happen over the United States Championship because one won it and the other did not. I don't know. I see a lot of people pulling for Chelsea Green. I see a lot of people pulling for Michin. My question is, I thought WWE said that all women were involved in this thing. Women from Raw and women from SmackDown. Meanwhile, we got nothing but women from SmackDown in this tournament. Now, does that mean that when this tournament's over, it will float between SmackDown and Monday Night Raw? Or is it simply a SmackDown title, and they're going to crown a winner here first, and then come 2025, in the first quarter of 2025, we will get a women's intercontinental title. And they're just waiting for everybody to get back healthy. Because Asuka's out, Rhea is out, Becky is out. I mean, you can't have a division with three studs like that out of your division due to injury. So it's either going to be Jade and Bianca. I wish women's championship. I thought one bracket would be from SmackDown and one bracket would be from Raw. And then come Saturday night's main event, it would be someone from Raw versus someone from SmackDown to crown the first ever United
Challenges everywhere, which is lame and lazy and boring. So maybe we'll get some good matches out of this. After the break, Sami Zayn, Jimmy, and Jey Uso were waiting in Roman Reigns' locker room for him to arrive. Sure enough, he did. And he sat down, and Sami Zayn said, look, we tried to find a fifth man for War Games, but we don't have one. We can't find one. Jey Uso told Roman, you got to make the call. You got to make the call, Us. You got to make the call. Call who? He didn't say. Roman was sort of briefly contemplating what he had just heard, but he didn't have a lot of time to think about it because all of a sudden, in the arena, you could hear Solo Sikoa's entrance music. And the new Bloodline was on their way out to the ring. Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa. Solo told Milwaukee to acknowledge him, and before he could say anything else, Roman Reigns' music hits, and out comes Roman and Jimmy and Jey and Zayn. They got into the ring.
It had been during the 2.0 NXT era.
4-on-4, 8 men. So they start going at it. Jey did a dive that wiped out most of them outside. In the ring, Fatu manhandled Roman. Solo was about to spike Sami Zayn. But Roman speared Solo, and he saved Sami. And the two of them shared a look. Then Sami did a flip dive out onto the pile outside. In the ring, Roman turned around, and the werewolf was back. We had a little face-off here between Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu, which is going to be a big match one of these days. And all of a sudden, as Roman has his back turned, he gets ambushed from behind by another Samoan. He gets ambushed from behind by Bronson Reed. The crossover continues. Monday Night Raw's Bronson Reed attacks Roman from behind, squashes him in the corner. Fatu follows with a hip attack to Roman. The OGs tried to attack. Reed, though, joined with Solo's crew to put them down as Michael Cole wondered if he was their fifth man in War Games. Reed went to the top rope, came off with a tsunami splash to Jimmy Uso. Roman made his own comeback because, of course, he's fucking Roman Reigns. So he fights off the Tongans. Fatu, he gets back in the ring, beats everybody up, including Bronson Reed, before finally he gets spiked by Solo
If I'm done
Sikoa.
with Bronson Reed,
Fatu hit Reigns with his double jump moonsault, and then Reed squashed Roman with a tsunami splash. The biggest name yet that Bronson Reed has splashed and just splattered in the middle of the ring is Roman Reigns. And officials ran out to break things up. Reed posed with Solo's crew in the aisle. And in the ring, Jey Uso again told Roman Reigns, make the call. Make the call, Us. Make the call. They made Bronson Reed look like an absolute savage out there, which I thought was great. He looked like he fit right in. And for those who don't know, Reed actually is of Samoan descent. So if they wanted to try to link him and the bloodline together as far as their family ties in some roundabout way, I guess they could try, because there is that connection there, if they wanted to mention it. Now, logic would dictate, based on what you saw here, that Seth Rollins is now going to end up being the fifth man on Roman's team, on the other bloodline side, in War Games. I really don't think, and I stand by this, I really don't think that they needed to shoehorn Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed into this match. I say shoehorn because this is not an issue that concerns them. Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed, they have their own thing. Roman's crew and Solo's crew, again, that's family business. Separate and apart from anything else going on with WWE, including the championship and Cody and everything else. This is bloodline business. It's a bloodline civil war. It is not a bloodline civil war plus Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed. They could write that in little writing underneath on the poster. Now featuring Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed. Like, the actual poster for War Games is out, and you see 4 and 4, and it looks cool. So when I say shoehorn, that's what I mean by that. Evidently, there was one person online before who didn't understand the meaning of the word. So I had to set him straight and block him because it's too stupid. But it's just, it doesn't feel like it is needed in this situation. That being said, I'm very happy that Bronson Reed is going to be in a feature spot on a major PLE like this. He has not had that opportunity very often, hardly at all this year. I can't remember. I assume he was in the Royal Rumble match this year. I know they did Elimination Chamber in Australia. He missed the show. I think he missed it for the birth of his child. There have not been very many PLE opportunities for him at all this year, really until Crown Jewel. And then even at Crown Jewel, he had a really good match and he lost. Now he's going into Survivor Series. He's going to be in the main event. He's going to be in War Games. So for him, it's a great spot. I'm super happy for him as far as that goes. I'm also really happy that they're not just going to tie Cody Rhodes back into the bloodline again. Cody and the bloodline, they need to be separate. At least until WrestleMania. If we end up with Cody and Rock, we'll get it all over again. But you got to put some separation. I mean, for God's sake, you got to put some separation between Cody and Roman, Cody and the bloodline. You got to stop. So instead of just going with Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens and adding them to the match, which honestly, if you were going to do 5-on-5, that would have made more sense. But I'm glad they didn't do that. So it keeps Cody out of the picture as far as all this stuff goes. The bloodline stuff, again, it's a family thing. That's why I say 4-on-4. It's a family thing. I do think with Rollins and Reed in there, we presume Rollins will be in there. With Rollins and Reed in there with these guys, it's going to be a great match. I mean, I'm looking forward to War Games either way, 4-on-4, 5-on-5. You put these two in there, and it's going to be great. But first, Seth Rollins is wrestling Bronson Reed on Raw this coming Monday night, which was already taped. And without giving away for those who don't want to know what is going to happen on Raw on Monday, if you haven't seen the spoilers, I will just say this. It is very clear based on what is going to happen on Monday that this was the direction that we were headed. I didn't need to see Smackdown tonight to know that it was likely going to end up being Bronson Reed on one side and Seth Rollins on the other. All this did was confirm. I will also say that watching all of this, it makes even less sense now to me that Bronson Reed lost at Crown Jewel. He never should have lost that match. And they went out there and they had a really good match, and they made him look as strong as they could possibly make a person look, even though they were going to lose the match. I mean, he had to take so many stomps, and Rollins paid respect to him, and the announcers put him over. And when it was over, Reed stood up. He had, remember that blood trickling down from his eye? He looked like a monster, like a sea monster rising out of the sea. They did as good of a job with it as they could, but it just makes even less sense now that Rollins went over in that match. I'm sorry. It should have been the other way around. Let's check in with what's going on here on Netflix. Where's the all right, they're talking. Should I request a drum roll? We are. No fight yet, so we're still good.
Tonight, why he couldn't say something cool or something interesting. Escobar told the crowd it sounded like they were from a different planet. Escobar said it should be Esco.
We did get AEW Rampage, but show's already pre-taped. They're the highlight to SmackDown. Can't wait for next week. Is next week gonna be pre-taped? Are they taping SmackDown right now? And is it gonna be pre-taped for next week? I don't know. Cause Raw was pre-taped, so maybe they might pre-tape SmackDown. I'm not sure. Because of the holidays of Thanksgiving coming up. We still got Mike Tyson and Jay Fall. The fight Netflix is down. We will talk about that earlier. Alright, so I think I made this video long. I think I will end the video. I'm not gonna make it too long like last time. I think I will stop the video right here. I just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think about SmackDown and the news and movement to AEW. How you guys feel about, SmackDown was very good. The build to Survivor Series War Games have been pretty good so far. Until that time, this is Jacob Cast 2024. I'll see you guys later.